Hi, this is Ben Finio, and in this video I'm going to show how I built this outdoor cedar end table from scrap wood. You can find a link to plans with cut dimensions on Instructables in the description below the video. So we're going to start out by assembling the top. Again, you can find the cut list with dimensions for this on Instructables in the link in the description below the video. I have my three top pieces. I'm going to use a straight edge to line these up. I'm going to take the side supports and just manually line them up flush with the edges, and I don't want screws visible from the top, so I am going to clamp these boards to hold them in place, and then I'm going to drill down into the supports and use 3-inch screws, which will be just long enough to poke through if they're countersunk a little bit and sink into the top boards. So there we go, we have the top assembled. Next we are going to cut and add the legs. Again, go to Instructables for the dimensions. This took me 30 minutes to figure out a basic high school trigonometry problem, so my high school teacher would probably be ashamed. But I did get it eventually to figure out the angle for the legs to get this the height I wanted. So here are my end pieces. Now you've got two options for these. If you want them offset, you will need a small spacer block made of the same cedar decking board, and you can attach one of these so it is flush with the outside support. I'm going to clamp that on temporarily so I have some free hands here. So again, you can attach one so it's flush with the outside support. You can use a spacer and then attach the second one so it's just going to be adjacent to this, or you can do a lap joint. So if you want both of these flush with the outside and you want them to overlap here, you can do a lap joint, which involves carving out half of the depth of each board so they will overlap each other at this point. I'm not going to show how to do a lap joint in this video. If you want to know how to do a good lap joint, you should go look up a real woodworking channel. If you want to know how to do a good enough lap joint, you should check out my deer-proof raised garden beds video. I have a link in the description. That was my first time ever making a lap joint, and I show the entire process in detail there. I am going to do a lap joint here because I would like both of the legs to be flush with the outside. I think it'll have a nicer look. So I'm going to skip ahead and do that off camera. Hey, guess what? Just kidding. Turns out I'm terrible at lap joints. These are hideous. God, like I don't even know why I tried. So, okay. Definitely, if you want to know how to make nice lap joints that don't look awful, go find a real woodworking channel. I'm going to back up and just do this the cheater way with the legs offset instead of the lap joints. Alright, let's try that again. This looks dramatically less awful. You can see I just have the legs offset instead of that horrendous attempt at a lap joint, so it gives it a different look. I think it still looks fine. So I'm going to clamp everything in place. I'm going to add a crossbar piece here and then just screw it all together at once. You can see on the bottom, having them offset like this does require two spacer pieces. I'm going to trim these down at an angle so they're not as ugly, or I guess you could omit those and just screw from the bottom and screw the legs directly into the top, but I want to have a little more rigidity there to be able to screw in from the side. One thing I'm going to do before I screw the whole thing together is make sure all of the legs are level. So I'm going to check the feet and adjust the clamps as needed to get all four of these level so I know the table will sit straight once I flip it upside down. Then tighten the clamps down and put in all the screws. And there we have it. Legs screwed on down here, cross piece screwed in between the legs, and we have ourselves a sturdy little end table. We are going to use this out back next to our daughter's inflatable pool for drinks and sunscreen and that sort of thing. As always, if you have a question or a comment, please leave a comment below the video. Thanks.